The studios of ITV's This Morning were buzzing with their usual Monday morning energy. Producers rushed across the glossy floors, camera operators checked their rigs, and the iconic blue and yellow logo glowed brightly on the large LED wall behind the couch. It was meant to be a routine show, celebrity interviews, lifestyle tips, and cheerful banter. But that morning, the producers knew they had a guest who carried both fascination and controversy in equal measure: Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex. Since her exit from royal duties alongside Prince Harry, Meghan had been both celebrated and criticized around the world. The audience was eager to see how she would handle her first in-person UK morning television appearance in years. Allison Hammond, known for her warm humor and infectious laughter, was chosen to lead the interview. On paper, it seemed like the perfect pairing: Allison's disarming charm against Meghan's polished eloquence. But as the cameras rolled, sparks began to fly. The calm before the storm. "All right, everyone, we're live in 3, 2, 1, the director whispered through the headsets. The theme music faded, and Allison's booming, friendly voice filled the studio. "Good morning, Britain. We have an incredibly special guest joining us today. You know her as an actress, philanthropist, mother, and, of course, the Duchess of Sussex. Please welcome Meghan Markle." The studio audience clapped enthusiastically as Meghan, dressed in a sleek cream blouse and tailored navy skirt, entered with a poised smile. She sat gracefully beside Allison, nodding in appreciation of the applause. "Thank you for having me," Meghan began smoothly. "It's wonderful to be back here, sharing my story." At first, the interview seemed harmless. Meghan spoke about her children, her latest charity work, and even shared a few behind-the-scenes anecdotes from her acting days. Allison listened attentively, occasionally bursting into her signature laugh. But when the conversation shifted toward Meghan's relationship with the British press and her strained ties with the royal family, Allison's tone sharpened. The question that changed everything. "All right, Meghan," Allison said, leaning forward, her tone less playful now. "You've spoken a lot about how tough the press was on you, how misunderstood you felt, and how the institution treated you. But some people feel like you and Harry chose to step back, yet you continue to use your royal titles and criticize the very family you left behind. Isn't that contradictory?" The audience gasped softly, sensing the tension. Meghan's smile faltered just slightly, but she quickly regained her composure. "Well, Allison," Meghan replied carefully, "I think it's unfair to frame it that way. My husband and I never stepped back from serving. We stepped away from a toxic environment where our well-being was at stake. Using our titles doesn't erase our struggles. It reminds people of the institution's accountability." Allison nodded slowly but pressed further. "But don't you think constantly bringing up grievances, whether in interviews, documentaries, or books, keeps reopening old wounds? Some say you're profiting off the very family you claim mistreated you." The atmosphere thickened. Even the camera operators exchanged nervous glances. Meghan's breaking point. Meghan's posture stiffened. Her voice, though calm, carried a noticeable edge. "I find that framing deeply unfair," she said firmly. "No one asks others to stay silent about their trauma. Why should I? If speaking my truth makes people uncomfortable, maybe they should question why it's uncomfortable, rather than attacking me for saying it." Allison, who had built her career on warmth, seemed unusually combative. Perhaps it was the pressure from producers to get something headline-worthy, or maybe she personally felt Meghan was being evasive. "Fair enough," Allison said, folding her arms. "But when you constantly talk about your truth, what about the other side's truth? Prince William, King Charles, they don't come on shows like this to defend themselves. Isn't it one-sided?" Meghan's eyes flashed. "That's their choice. Silence doesn't equal innocence. If they choose not to speak, that's on them. But don't expect me to sit quietly just to protect a system that nearly destroyed me." The studio audience shifted uncomfortably. Some clapped in support, others booed softly. The tension was undeniable. The clash escalates. "All right, Meghan, let's be real here," Allison said, raising her voice slightly. "Some viewers think you're playing the victim card. Every time we hear from you, it's about pain, about injustice, about what went wrong. But where's the accountability? Do you ever stop to think maybe you made mistakes too?" The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Meghan's lips pressed into a thin line. She inhaled sharply before responding. I am human, Allison. Of course I've made mistakes. But I won't let that be used as a weapon to justify the racism, the cruelty, the lies that were spread about me. A mistake doesn't mean I deserve the treatment. Allison leaned back, shaking her head slightly. But some would say. No, Meghan cut her off, her tone suddenly sharp. Some would assume. There's a difference. And I'm tired of being put in a position where I have to justify my existence while others hide behind protocol. The audience erupted, half clapping, half gasping. The control room scrambled, cutting between wide shots and close-ups to capture the drama unfolding live. The moment of explosion. The breaking point came when Allison, in an uncharacteristically direct move, asked. Then why are you here, Meghan? If you don't care what Britain thinks, why come back on This Morning at all? Is it just another PR stunt? That was it. Meghan's expression hardened. She stood up abruptly, her microphone still clipped to her blouse, and glared at Allison. How dare you trivialize my work, my story, my presence here as a stunt? I came here in good faith, to speak honestly. But if this is the kind of treatment I receive, even from you, Allison, then perhaps this was a mistake. Gasps echoed across the studio. Meghan unclipped her microphone, handed it to a stunned production assistant, and stormed off set. The cameras caught every moment. Allison, wide-eyed, tried to recover. Well, she stammered, forcing a nervous laugh. That's live TV for you. But the damage was done. Within minutes, social media lit up. Hashtags like hashtag Meghan storms off and hashtag Allison vs Meghan began trending worldwide. Viewers were divided, some applauding Allison for asking the hard questions, others blasting her for ambushing Meghan. And in the control room, the producers were already whispering, this is going to be the story of the week. The This Morning set had never felt so electric, so chaotic. After Meghan Markle stormed off, production scrambled to fill the airtime. Allison Hammond, usually quick on her feet, looked unsettled for the first time in her career. Well, ladies and gentlemen, she said with a forced laugh, I guess that's what happens when the tea is really hot. The audience gave a nervous chuckle, but the awkwardness hung in the air. Producers quickly cut to a pre-recorded cooking segment, but the damage was already done. Clips of Meghan walking out were already being uploaded to social media. Social media explosion. Within 30 minutes, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were ablaze. One user tweeted, greater than, wow. Meghan Markle just walked out of This Morning. Allison Hammond actually went there. Hashtag Meghan storms off. Another wrote, greater than, Allison asked the questions we all wanted to ask. Meghan can't handle the truth. But others fiercely defended Meghan. Greater than, shame on Allison. That was a complete ambush. Meghan came in good faith, and she was treated with hostility. Disgraceful. Within the hour, hashtags hashtag Meghan storms off, hashtag Team Meghan, and hashtag Team Allison were trending worldwide. News outlets began scrambling to cover the story, each spinning the narrative differently. Behind the scenes. Backstage, Meghan sat in a private dressing room, her hands trembling as she texted Prince Harry. They set me up, she muttered, pacing the room. They promised it would be a fair conversation. Harry's reply came quickly. Greater than come back home. Don't let them drag you down again. We'll issue a statement later. A young assistant knocked nervously. Duchess, would you like some water? Meghan turned, her face still burning with anger but softened by the girl's concern. Yes, thank you. And please, call me Meghan. Meanwhile, Alison was huddled with producers. One of them, a sharp-eyed executive named Simon, looked both worried and thrilled. This is the biggest TV moment we've had in years, he whispered. But we're going to get backlash. We need to decide, do we defend Allison, or do we apologize to Meghan? Allison sighed. I didn't mean to push her that far. I was told to ask tough questions, but, her voice trailed off. Maybe I went too far. The tabloid frenzy. By evening, every major tabloid had Meghan splashed across the front page. The Sun screamed, Diva Duchess storms off, Meghan can't take the heat. The Daily Mail ran with, Hammond vs. Markle, the clash that stunned Britain. But The Guardian took a different angle, did This Morning ambush Meghan Markle? Viewers slam ITV for aggressive interview. Television pundits debated the incident endlessly. On talk shows, analysts dissected Meghan's body language, Allison's tone, and even the audience's reaction. One commentator declared, "Meghan came in with rehearsed answers, but Allison pushed back. That's journalism. Meghan couldn't handle it." Another countered, "No, this wasn't journalism. It was a setup. The producers wanted a viral moment, and they got it, at Meghan's expense." Celebrity reactions. Even celebrities chimed in. Piers Morgan, a longtime critic of Meghan, gleefully tweeted, "Greater than, bravo, Allison Hammond. Finally, someone held Meghan Markle accountable. She ran away like she always does." But actress Jameela Jamil defended Meghan. "Greater than, this was disgraceful. Meghan deserves respect, not constant interrogation. Women of color are always treated harsher in the media. Enough." Oprah Winfrey, who had previously interviewed Meghan and Harry, remained silent publicly, but sources close to her suggested she was deeply disappointed in the way Meghan had been treated. Meghan speaks out. The following day, Meghan released a statement through her spokesperson. Greater than, yesterday's interview was intended to highlight ongoing charitable initiatives and advocacy work. Unfortunately, the tone of the conversation became unnecessarily combative. Meghan will always stand firm in speaking her truth, but she will not participate in environments designed to create hostility rather than dialogue. The statement was calm but firm. It avoided direct attacks on Allison, but the implication was clear: Meghan felt ambushed. Harry later echoed the sentiment in a short interview outside an event in California. Greater than, my wife deserves respect, not tabloid theatrics. We've seen this before, and we won't be silenced, but we also won't keep engaging with platforms that thrive on conflict. Allison's response. Alison Hammond, feeling the weight of both criticism and support, addressed the situation on the next day's show. Yesterday was tough, she admitted, her usual cheerful demeanor subdued. I love doing what I do, and I never want anyone to feel disrespected on this sofa. Meghan is someone I admire in many ways. Things got heated, and I regret that she walked away. That was never my intention. Her apology was met with applause from the studio audience, but online reactions remained divided. Some said it was too little, too late. Others praised her for owning up. The fallout. The incident had lasting consequences. ITV faced an internal review after complaints flooded in. Some executives argued Meghan should never have been booked in the first place, knowing how polarizing she was. Others insisted controversy was good for ratings, and indeed, the clip had already been viewed millions of times worldwide. Meanwhile, Meghan cancelled several planned UK appearances, choosing instead to return swiftly to California with Harry. Photographers captured them boarding a plane, Meghan shielding her face with oversized sunglasses. In America, Meghan was greeted more sympathetically. Talk shows like The View criticized ITV for sensationalizing trauma, and American audiences largely rallied behind her. The bigger picture. The clash between Meghan and Alison became more than just a TV incident, it reignited the global debate about Meghan's place in the world. Was she a brave truth-teller, standing against a powerful institution that silenced her? Or was she, as critics claimed, addicted to victimhood and media attention? The truth, as always, depended on who you asked. Epilogue. Weeks later, Meghan gave a calm, reflective interview in the United States. I don't regret standing up for myself, she said softly. For too long, I was expected to smile, to stay silent, to play a role that didn't honor my humanity. If speaking my truth makes people uncomfortable, that says more about them than it does about me. I wish my conversation with Allison had gone differently. I wish there had been more compassion on both sides. But I also believe these moments force us to reflect. And reflection, even when it's painful, can lead to growth. Allison, for her part, later admitted on a podcast. I let the pressure get to me. I was told to ask hard questions, and I did. But I forgot the human sitting in front of me. Meghan deserved better from me. That's a lesson I won't forget. And so, the clash that started as a fiery morning show spat grew into something larger, a reflection of media culture, race, royalty, and the price of truth in a world hungry for drama. The cameras had stopped rolling, but the echoes of that morning continued to ripple across the world.